Good morning, students. So today we are going to talk about one more responsibility of data link layer, that is error control. It indicates how errors are detected and how errors are corrected. So that we call it as one of the responsibility of data link layer. So nowadays in most of the applications, that must ensure that whatever the data sent by the receiver should reach the destination in the same order with the same content. It should not be altered in the middle. That is the basic motto of all applications what we are seeing today. So in order to maintain that property, or in order to maintain that much of quality, so there should be a interference of the external noise actually. So why this is violated means, this is violated because of many reasons. So why we are not getting original data as it is sent by the sender means, our data is not transmitting in real time environment. Our data is not transmitting in a ideal environment where there is no noise at all. But nowadays we are in a noisy environment where we have all unreliable connections. Meaning of that one is that may be interrupted with because of external interferences. All these things are there in that world we are living. So that's the reason your data may be corrupted in the middle while it is transmitting, while it is on the way to receiver. So in order to ensure that whether the received data is corrected data or whether the received data is corrupted data. Got it? So these two things can be implemented with the help of this error detection and correction methodologies. Okay. So now, in this chapter, under this error control, we are talking about these are the different topics to be discussed under error control, like how many types of errors are there, and what is mean by redundancy, and why redundancy is required. What is the difference between detection and correction, forward error correction or retransmission, and there is one more called coding, and there is one more called modular arithmetic. So these all issues we are going to address in this error control chapter. Let us talk about one by one types of errors. When you take this concept, when data is moving in the network, it may be corrupted in the middle. It may be corrupted in the middle. So when one byte is moving, whenever it is corrupted, based on the loss of data, have you lost only one bit of error or there are more than one bits corrupted in the middle? Based on that concept, how many number of bits are get affected with the help of this external interference? If external interference influences only one bit of the data unit, then we call such things as one bit errors or single bit errors. And there is a scope of corrupting more than one bit in a data unit. See, we are talking about data. If your data is moving like one byte unit, in that one byte, only one bit is corrupted. In second byte, one more bit is corrected. This concept we call it as one single bit error. So if you consider one data unit, how many bits are corrupted in that? You may have 100 data units to be sent, but we never consider all the errors in all units because all the units are not sent at a time. Data units are sent one by one. When one data unit is on its way, how many errors are there, how it is corrected, and how it is detected, all these things has to be recorded. Okay. So basically, based on the number of bits corrupted during this data transmission because of these interferences, it can be classified into two types of errors: single bit error and multiple bit errors. Multiple bit error. Okay. So we will talk about one by one. Single bit error. When you take the single bit error in data unit, whatever the data unit we take, only one bit is corrupted in the data transmission. In simple words, only one. If I have a byte of data, out of these 8 bits, only one bit is corrupted at the in the transmission, and it is received in different order, and it is received in different order. Such kind of errors we call it as single bit errors. Only one bit is changed. If you observe this, what is sent is all zeros followed by one zero is sent, but what is received at the other end is four zeros followed by 1010. So how many bits are get changed? Only one bit is changed because of this external noise. Now there is one more thing to be understood, that is What is the scope of single bit errors? What is the scope in the sense? The possibility of occurring the single bit error. It is very least actually. Single bit errors are very least to appear in the data transmission. Very least. Why I am talking about very least word means, generally whatever the channel we take, it is having some bandwidth. Got it? Let us say 1 Mbps bandwidth. So 1 bit, if you want to correct 1 bit, the noise should be in the same speed. Noise should be in the same speed. So generally, noise is going to have much bigger weight compared to this bit. So I will explain that one with one example in next slide. Okay. If you take this example, so these are least likely type of errors in serial data transmission. When data sent at a 1 Mbps, let us say data sent is at 1 Mbps, then each bit lost in 1 by 1 lakh seconds. 1 by 1 lakh seconds. Meaning of that one is each bit will traverse in that speed. Each bit, one bit will traverse in that speed. That is 1 microsecond. Now, if you want to alter, that bit, so noise must have the same duration. Noise must have the same duration. So it should be, so for example, if a train is moving in a 100 kilometers per hour speed, if you want to keep a mark on that train, if you want to keep a mark on that train at particular place, means a bit place, then you should be in the same speed. If you are in the same speed, then it look like both are in constant mode, then only you can make a mark on the train, make a mark. And if it is not so, what happens means, if it is very speed and you are little bit slow, when you try to mark at one place, it is dragged. In the sense, you want to correct only one bit, but it is dragged and it is making a mark on multiple places of the train. Multiple places in the sense, it is dragged. If you want to point to the exact point on the train, then you must be in the same speed of the train, but it is not appeared in case this noise. Okay. Normally noise lasts much longer than this. Meaning of that one is, noise will have a more time to journey. Actually, one bit will take 1 by 1000 seconds, 1 lakh seconds I said na. So now, but it is not true in case of noise. Noise is going to have more weight, in the sense it is going to travel by what we call it as duration. So noise duration is very high compared to bit duration. So bit speed is very high, noise speed is very less. If it is the case, then you never get a single bit error. You never get a single bit error. I repeat again, if in order to get single bit errors in the serial transmission, noise should have the same speed of the bit. Noise should have the same speed of the bit. In general, it is not. Noise is going to take more time compared to bit transmission, compared to one bit transmission. Okay, this is a way we justify the statement why it is leastly likely type of errors. Very least, because if the noise is very speed, then it occurs, but noise never be traveling in that speed. That whatever the inferences we are getting from the other external environment, those are not having that much speed. That's the reason we are not getting single bit errors, but we get more than that. Burst errors, we call it burst errors, or multiple bit errors we will get. We will see how we are going to get those in next slide. See this one. If data units are traversing, there may be a possibility of having more than one bit error, more than one bit. It need not to be sequential. If you have a byte starting, maybe there may be a correction, ending there may be a correction. Likewise, you may have lot of corrections in that byte. So then it is called as burst error or multiple errors, multiple. Okay, single bit error, multiple bit errors. So if you observe this one, whatever the data sent is this one, if you take that unit of data, that is 1 byte data, in that 1 byte data itself we got 4 changes. Actually it is sent as 0 0, but it is received as 1 1. So this way we are going to get multiple errors in the data unit. So this is one kind of error. So totally two kinds of errors are there: single bit error and burst errors, or we call it as multiple errors, multiple bit error. Now, if you to consider this one, these errors are most likely occurring in the real-time environment. These errors are most likely occurred in real-time environment because, as I told you early in the earlier slide, noise speed is less compared to the data speed. When noise speed is less compared to data speed, meaning of that one is data takes less time to traverse, noise takes more time to traverse. So if there is a mismatch in the time, then it is going to hit the data unit at multiple places because it is not traversing with the data unit with same speed. If both are traversing in the same speed, then there may be a chance of pointing to the single bit error. But if both are not moving in a same speed, then this noise will disturb more than one content. This noise will disturb more than one bit in the data unit. So if you take the previous example, so this noise, how many bits are affected by this noise is purely depends on the data rate of the channel, that is one, and noise duration and data rate. If these two are varying, automatically number of bits get affected also varying. There is no constant number of bits get affected. Okay, if you see this example, 1 kbps data rate means noise duration is 1 by 100 second, let us say. If it is 1 by 100 second, the number, it is very high. If you take this one, here it is going to traverse with a faster speed, whereas noise is traversing with a duration of 1 by 100 seconds. Then if these two are get multiplied, then it is going to give, k means 10 power 3, right? So 10 power 3 and 1000, which is multiplied by 1 by 100. So you are going to get a number 10. So if data rate, if the channel bandwidth is represented with 1 kbps, then the noise duration is 1 by 100 seconds, then the number of bits get affected is 10 bits. Now if you change it, let us say data rate is changed to 1 mbps, data rate is changed to 1 mbps and noise duration is same, then 1 mbps means 10 power 6, 10 power 6. So if you cut down 2 zeros, then you will get 1 followed by 4 zeros. So then 10,000 bits are get affected if the noise is having a duration of 1 by 100 seconds and the data rate of the channel is 1 mbps. So number in burst, in multiple errors, multiple bit error or burst errors, the number of bits get affected is purely depends on what is the data rate of the channel and then what is the duration of the noise. By multiplying those two things, we can get how many number of bits are get affected. So this way we can introduce different types of errors and the possibilities of occurring the errors, at what time single bit errors may occur and at what time these multiple bit errors are occurred and its consequences. And in next slide we will talk about redundancy. Now in order to understand receiver, in order to understand the receiver, like there is an error in the data, or there is a multiple errors in the data, all these things, whatever the error information, how receiver is going to recognize the received one is wrong, because he is not having original. When we send the data, it is traversing in the network and it is reaching the destination. Whenever it is reaching the destination, receiver doesn't have a copy to compare. Receiver doesn't have a copy to, if receiver is having a copy, there is no need to send copy again. That is one more question. So then how receiver will determine this is corrupted one and this is a correct one? So in order to do that, redundancy bits are added in the data. Whatever the data we send, data is not sent alone. Data is not sent alone. Data is sent along with some redundant bits. There is a relation between these redundant bits and this data. These two are related to each other. And if you know the redundancy bits, and we can regenerate this data. In that way, the relation is existed between redundancy bits and data. Once this redundancy bits and data is received by the receiver, receiver will take this redundancy bits and he run one algorithm on the data so that he can conclude whether the data received is correct or not. This way, our data is additionally added with some extra information that we call it as redundancy bits, which is used to detect whether the received data is correct or not. So this way redundancy is introduced. Okay, redundant bits allows the receiver to detect or correct the corrupted bits. Two options, a receiver can do two activities based on the algorithm. If you are running only algorithm for error detection, he is having some sort of solution. If you are running an algorithm for error correction also, then receiver is able to detect where is that error and what is its original value. That also recovered with the help of this redundancy bits. That technique we call it as error correction. Error detection is very simple. Error correction is very tough. Error detection means something is wrong. That's it. If something is wrong, what a receiver will do? What receiver will do is he will send an acknowledgement to the sender saying that we want retransmission. We want retransmission because whatever the frame you have sent previously, it is corrupted in the middle. We have analyzed that it is corrupted in the middle with the help of this redundancy bits. So you need to send it again. That we call it as error detection. Error detection is so simple. But in case of error correction, whatever the data is received by the receiver, and that additional bits are used to detect there is an error, and that additional bits are suggesting the receiver at what position that error is existed. As we are in binary world, let us say at 5th position it is corrupted. At 5th position it is corrupted means if 5th position is 0, the correct value is 1. If 5th position is 1, the correct value is 0, right? So this way we can guess, because the binary numbers, if I say 1 is corrupted, suppose the value to be existed at that place is 0. That's very simple. But finding the position of the error, if you have 100 bits, and we detected that something is wrong in that unit, where it is wrong is indicated with the, let us start. So when redundant bits are considered by the receiver, what he will do is he will take the redundant bits, and then after, by analyzing those redundant bits, he will identify whether that bits are helpful to identify the error in the data or not. And if there is an error, it is also identifying what is the correct value to be posted in that position. So these two things can be analyzed by the receiver with the help of these redundant bits. And these redundant bits are never transferred to the above layer. These are there only to know whether the data received is correct or not. Whenever after realizing that the data is correct, these redundant bits are never sent to the above layer. This is only discarded by that receiver. Just like headers are removed at the destination. Headers are removed at the destination. Headers are added at the sender, but those are removed at the destination. Those will help us to find out whether it is correct or not. So similar way, this additional information also, whatever is added to the data, is taken by the receiver, analyzed, and later realize that it is correct or corrupt. If it is correct, remove that redundant bits and add the remaining bits, send the remaining bits to the above layer. This way, these redundant bits are used in error detection and error correction. So we will see how these bits, this way redundant bits are used to detect the errors as well as correct the errors. Okay. Now we will see if it is detected, what solution the receiver has to do. If it is a correction methodology, how the receiver is going to correct the position of the error. So that we will see. So this one. So if you take this one, detection versus correction. So in this case, so there is a small difference between error detection and error correction. In case of error detection, the solution to be followed by the receiver is so simple. What he will do is he will send an acknowledgement to the sender saying that something is wrong in the previously sent frame and do the retransmission. This is the solution which is adapted in error detection methodologies. But in some cases, what happens means, some of the algorithms that we call it as error correction algorithms. In case of error correction algorithm, data and redundancy bits are sent to the receiver, and after receiving the content, which is data and redundancy bits, with the help of redundancy bits, the receiver is capable of identifying the error in which position that error is existed, either one bit error or multiple bit error, that's a different story. It has to detect as well as identify the position where is a mistake. Such kind of algorithms we call it as error detection algorithms. So that is the difference between error correction and error detection. In case of error correction, both activities are taken place. It will detect the error, it will identify the position of the error, and it is replaced with the original content. How that original content is recovered means with the help of this redundancy bits only. With the help of redundancy bits only, the lost content is identified and recovered. So no need to send any acknowledgement back to the sender saying that you send me again. Receiver is capable of regenerating the corrupted content with the help of redundancy bits. If it is the case, that kind we call it as error correction algorithms. And receiver is having only one knowledge whether received data is right or wrong. That kind of algorithm we call it as error detection, which is again making an explicit request to the sender saying that we need retransmission. We need retransmission. So this way redundancy and is existed, and the method of recovering the data with the help of redundant bits is called as forward error correction method. Forward error correction in the sense we are not again looking back to the sender to send the data again. Whatever the data we sent, from that data and redundant bits only we will identify where is mistake and what is the content to be placed there. These two things are done with the help of redundant bits only. That's the reason this error correction is making use of a methodology called forward error correction method. Forward error correction method. No need to go back to the sender to retransmit. But error detection is always depends on the sender for retransmission. So this is the difference between retransmission and forward error correction methodologies. Got it? So now there is one more concept called coding. Coding in the sense how that redundant bits are created. So far we are talking about when a data is sent, along with data some redundant bits are sent. How these redundant bits are calculated? So these redundant bits are calculated based on different types of coding methodologies. Linear coding, block coding, parity coding, even parity, odd parity, or what we call column wise parity, row wise parity. There are many methods to generate these redundant bits. These redundant bits should relate to the data. There should be some relation between redundant bits and data. How that relation is created means with the help of these coding techniques. With the help of coding techniques. Okay. So let me see that general diagram how that sender will. So sender and receiver. Now if sender want to send a message, that message alone is not sent as part of this error detection or correction methodology concern. Now the message is taken, there is a program at the encoder side. This we call it as encoder, which is running at the sender, decoder which is running at the receiver. Now encoder program is designed in such a way that it takes the message from the sender, a generator program is executed. What is the objective of the whatever we seen, that coding technologies, that coding methods are used here. Parity coding, or even bit parity, odd bit parity, or we call it as what we call row wise parity, column wise parity, Hamming code. There are many methodologies to write this program, generator program. What is the objective of the generator program means that generator program will take the data from the message, and then that is added with some redundant bits. There should be relation between redundancy bits and message. This relation is existed by this generator program. This generator program will create this redundancy bits based on the message. Once it is created, combinedly, that combined data is sent to the receiver with the unreliable transmission. Meaning of that one is unreliable means there may be a chance of having mistakes in the middle because of external influence or external attacks. Got it? So now, as it is traversing in the unreliable transmission, now receiver will receive what? Only data, or data along with the redundancy bits, data and redundant, both are received. Now, at receiver side, there is a program called checker. These two are related. Whatever the protocol we use here, or whatever the coding technique we use here, the same coding technique is applied here for encoding. Decoding purpose, encoding purpose, let us say we have used X algorithm. For decoding purpose also we need to use X algorithm only. Then only the original content is retrieved. Otherwise, no. So this way, whatever the coding we apply at sender, and the same coding is applied for decoding purpose. Now the checker responsibility. The checker is a program. Its responsibility is take the redundancy bits and data and make use of this redundancy bits along with the data to determine whether the received data is correct or corrupted. If it is correct, pass it to the above layer. If it is correct, pass it to the above layer. If it is wrong, discard it. Discard it. Discard in the sense not consider, ignored. If it is ignored, what the sender has to do is, sender has to do the retransmission. So this way, in error detection, the sender and receiver are running encoder and decoder programs. In encoder, the message is added with some redundancy bits based on the algorithm what we use, that we call it as coding technique. And after generating this word, combined word, that is sent to the receiver, and then receiver will take that redundancy bits, apply that logic on the data with the help of redundancy bits, and then if you get a symptom of there is a problem in the data, then that message is ignored. Otherwise, that is passed to the above layer. This way, these two are existed at sender and receiver for error detection purpose. If it is error correction purpose, here checker program is there, na? It is going to detect the errors and correct the errors and pass it to the sender. It will not discard. It will not discard. It is going to recover the loss. It is going to recover the loss, and that original data is retrieved and that is passed to the above layer, that is receiver. So this way it works. And in next class we talk about different types of coding techniques applied at this generator and checker side.